Hello and welcome to Tales Held Dear. We are a actual play improvisation group from Berlin, Germany. None of us are actually from Berlin, which is pretty wild, but we all live here, and we're streaming to you live right now with a fantastic game. I'm Jacob Wolf Lefton. I'm your host and game master, and we're going to go around and introduce ourselves this way.
I'm Mari.
I'm Carl.
It's always the other side.
I'm Tetiana.
Hi, I'm Ratan.
I change it up from time to time just to keep you on your toes.
Yes, please do.
So, very brief announcement, just in case you're like, what is this, and you leave. We have a live show on Thursday, May 2nd, which is before our next stream show, and it's at 9:30 p.m. and tickets are $10 and €10 and dollars. Who uses those? And you can book online at comedycafeberlin.com. If you need to get your plane tickets, you should get them now. Anything else? No, we're gonna just jump right into it. Okay, ready? Great. We're going to step into Chapter 3 of The World of Dios, which is our world based on the Numenera setting, which runs on the Cypher system from Monte Cook Games. It uses a 20-sided die. It's very easy. Just follow along. We'll explain the rules as we go. Without further delay, we dive into it. We start this scene a little bit in media res. The players, just as a brief recap, the characters had some adventures in their home city or the place they were living of Sildafen up in the mountains and in a little valley in the mountains. And there was a harvest engine that they had to try to save, and it got damaged. And then one of the characters was kidnapped by an old childhood friend, and they flew up even higher into the mountains to a temple, and they went into the temple and they found that the temple was being attacked by an ancient creeping rot of some type of liquid metal, and they encountered a sphinx in a library, and then eventually they escaped the temple with a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more information on a flying machine of an ancient design, of which they had to plug in cards. Fuck, hang on.
No, not this time.
I have them somewhere. No, I have them. I have them. Yes. So,
Nice.
they had ceramic cards that they plugged into the machine, and they chose the unidentified one, which was this. And the machine took off and flew in a direction above the clouds. And that's where our story left off.
I
I'm
recognize
so
that.
happy to see them.
Yeah.
That's a shopping center, right? I know this place.
So this was the one design for which they didn't have a name. They flew, this vehicle flew, and that is where Chapter 2 ended. Chapter 3 begins way down south. That's upside down. The little...
It's the Square
notch?
Shopping Center in Tala, in West Dublin. Sorry.
If any of you ever had a Game Boy
That's where we
Classic,
go.
if ever the little notch goes up because that locks in when you turn the switch on. Yeah, there you go.
Lovely.
Yeah. So, just ancient artifacts that have inspired modern day things. Now you have props, so you got to figure out how to deal with them.
We got too excited. We don't have a physical
excited.
thing. It felt like take one, pass the rest on t-shirt, moment.
2 weeks later, way down south, the continent of Bomora has a strange geographic feature on it, which is the Kalabek crater. It's a crater maybe 700 kilometers across. That's about like 500 miles, maybe. Math, who knows, for you who like miles. It's an enormous crater of ancient origin. Some large, heavy object crashed into the planet and created this crater. And in recent times, the crater was home to the Gorelex Bracarchy, which was an empire of mystic origins that disappeared about 1,000 years ago, and the people who still exist are trying to sort out all of the problems left from that collapse. The characters come from the northeast corner of this, just outside the crater, and now they are on the southern point of the crater, just inside the crater, in a large industrial nation known as Konova. They are near Lake Derset, which is another crater lake of different, more recent origin. It is a perfect circle filled with water that cuts into the jagged edge of the larger crater. And they are in a tiny town inside the entrance hall of the Shady Hill Brewing Company in a standoff. With them is Nate Everstone of the Nathaniel Everstone Holding Company, who owns the brewing company, and they have just received the meniscus device in a bag from Nate. And outside,
Just the writing. It's like the potions class. What?
The meniscus device.
Meniscus
This
device.
thing we've been tracking down for 2 weeks. Come on.
you've been tracking it down for 2 weeks, and outside, in sort of the dusty, sun-soaked south of the crater, you can hear the call of one Tyler Preston Webb and the Preston gang, who shouts, "All right, I know y'all are in there, and if you don't come out with your hands up, we're coming in to get you."
Wait, just quick clarification.
Yeah.
Tyler. You chose to name your gang after your middle name?
Preston Webb is hyphenated.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Quickly change my notes.
Now, if the rumors are true, this meniscus device is good for helping us to climb up the sides of things, right? Is that what it's for?
The meniscus
Push
device.
ourselves against the wall and just sort of start sliding up.
Nate
Sliding up, yeah, that's what. I kind of
understand
thought it
it.
was a side effect.
Nate Everstone, whom you have trained guns on, is standing there, and he's like, "Now, look, I didn't want any sort of trouble, and I picked that thing up at auction, and of course we were using it to power the brewery here.
Oh.
But if you've got to take it for whatever you need, and you know that it has something to do with whatever is under Lake Derset, Lake Derset, where your ship crashed 2 weeks ago." It just suddenly, all of a sudden, ejected the card and started to come down, crash landed in the water. You managed to get out. In this sort of chaos of it, Torath Haggis disappeared.
Did our ship sink, or is it floating in the lake?
Oh, it sank.
Oh, shit. So
Yeah.
we know we're vehicle-less.
You're vehicle-less, you're in the south of Konova, and you're standing here in this moment, in this three-way standoff where you have Nathaniel Everstone and all of the brewery workers on one side, and you have the Preston gang outside, and you all are there holding the bag with this device in it.
Was Torath in the ship when it sank, or he disappeared after the fact?
You remember everyone bailed out, and then in the swim to shore, you got to shore and he just wasn't with your group.
Nope.
I missed Taurus.
Yeah.
I'm furious.
You can take 2 XP for that intrusion of mine. Pass one on to somebody.
That's gonna
So
be Victor.
what do we actually want this
So I take
meniscus
one.
device
Yeah.
for?
So we're gonna go around, and 2 weeks have passed, and so I'm just gonna go around and just ask everybody. Let's start with Cornelius. Cornelius, as you're standing here, what is running through your head? And maybe there's a scene that you feel inspired to play through that will lead us down a little bit of the path of what's on Cornelius's mind in this moment, in this three-way standoff, where you probably have some opinions about it.
The first thing that Cornelius thinks of is not appropriate, but nevertheless true. Cornelius is kind of glad not to be home. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a fun little adventure to be out here. At this point, this has brought more serotonin to his brain than anything back in Sildafen.
Right.
And this whole traveling adventure thing is so far better than being stuck at home trying to navigate the social labyrinth
Yeah.
that is the Sildafen upper class.
Like courtly politics, basically,
Exactly.
right?
And it's nice to be doing something, you know?
Yeah. Doing something even if you're not quite sure what it is you're doing.
Yeah.
Did you have a moment of talking about this with anyone? Or is there some moment from Cornelius's past, recent, or further back that is sort of coming to mind?
I think there must have been a moment of downtime post ship crash, pre standoff, where we're just recovering, and Cornelius knows that it's not the appropriate time to be like, hey, this is kind of fun, but does kind of turn to the group and say, hey, is anyone else like kind of enjoying not being in Sildefen?
What? What?
I know.
I cannot. Ruta storms off.
Dale is like, yep.
Good man.
Kind of nice to be out on the road, ain't it?
It is. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I really, you know, this hasn't really happened properly ever. I don't think the war counts, you know?
I mean, I'm fully out of communication with the animal sanctuary and with the X. And I mean, you know, I feel like I'm shirking my responsibilities, but at the same time, I didn't ask to be out here. I'm sure they got it covered.
This is what I'm thinking too. Like, I haven't actually told Emerald where I am,
Yeah.
which I realize might be a bit of a problem for them, but I just can't bring myself to actually tell them anything.
Yeah, the past sucks. Let's just leave it behind.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, my cover is born and grown in Sildefen anyway, and...
Drink.
Oh, thank you. I mean,
Yeah. Like, this is kind of...
strong.
It's a strong one, yeah.
Did you brew that yourself?
Yeah, you can push
I
that.
found this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In the ship?
No, in my own van, but it ain't mine.
Oh, God.
I don't know what that is.
Well,
I mean, you know, I gotta say, you've got like a lightness about you that I haven't seen in quite a while.
I haven't really been on, like, holiday or anything.
Yeah.
This isn't a holiday, I am aware.
No, we're working.
But I've been in Sildefen for years, and it's
Yeah.
kind of, you know, I don't get to do the mountain rescues.
Yeah, and people that
Fun.
they take things too seriously, you know?
So
Like, you write a few
seriously.
poems and then suddenly you're stopping political revolution. It's just...
Exactly, and I don't have to wear a suit and go to an event at all.
I gotta say, you look taller somehow. You look like you've been standing up straight, like there's a weight off your shoulders.
I feel taller.
Yeah.
I feel taller. I feel stronger.
Oh yeah.
There's just something about being out here in the fresh air.
Your mustache is really glowing too. Like,
You've been
it's
walking-
got an extra sparkle to it. Just...
You've been walking around with your shirt off for the last 2 weeks. Have you even realized that? This is just you now.
My body just regulates the warmth so well, and you know, I
gotta-
think it's a good look. You know, people like looking at the.
You got a great base tan going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
The Ruta will storm back. And, you know, I shall remind you that we are miles away from Sildefen with no vehicle and no means. I hate seeing smiles on your faces right now. You know what? If you like being away from your lives, maybe you should fucking fix your lives.
Well, what if I just go backpacking instead after this? You know,
Do that. Yeah.
and just never go back to Sildefen.
Now, Ruta, you know, I think we all hear what you're saying. You know, and these circumstances are not what we chose, but we got to make the most of them. You know,
Yeah.
All we got out here is our wits and our training. You know, we ain't got time to worry about paperwork and which animals are getting fed and if we're writing a new chapter of our book. You know, we just got to respond in the moment to what's happening, to what's put in front of us.
And who knows?
Okay.
It's exhilarating.
Okay, Dale,
Yeah.
expert of being in the wild and doing things. Does your expertise tell you to do anything other than sitting on your ass and drinking booze?
We're formulating a plan right now. This is bonding and planning.
This is true.
More bonding.
We haven't just
that.
like sat and like, you know, nothing is better than a night out with your friends.
What? You're not gonna have a sip?
No, I'm gonna have you figure out a plan.
Oh, that's my thinking juice.
Can't take away his thinking juice.
Actually, I don't know how you operate. Yeah, fair.
Ah, my fuel. That's how I operate. I think this is a good look for you.
We were flying south.
Yeah.
So we are either in Canova or mainland.
You know you're in Canova at this point.
The moss look like
I've
we're
never
in
been here
Canova.
before. You know? It's exciting.
We haven't seen this place yet. This is where we're headed, right?
This place might not have existed for like 1,000 years already.
Yeah, that's what we got to figure out. And isn't that exciting? Like, imagine all the things we could figure out here. Like, we just went to a library that hadn't been visited in thousands of years. We got some like secret knowledge. There's more secret knowledge out there.
Yeah, there's no like weird cats in Silderfen that you have to like save from.
Hey, stay off the Cadians. They're cute, okay?
Oh, sure, I
That's
forgot about
not-
those. I forgot about those.
We haven't had to deal with a rogue band of pigs in weeks now, you know?
Yeah.
That's got to be some comfort.
You haven't had to navigate the weird upper class of Silderfen in weeks.
Yeah.
We cut
Let me
back to the brewery, and Nate is there, and he's just sort of like, look, whatever you do, just don't like disrupt the pig pen operation.
You fucking kidding me right now? Are you kidding me
there
right
is
now?
something about. Look, mister. The fantasy you have of not being disturbed, that's already gone. Yeah? There is no coming back, so you will have to assist us.
I mean, after we use the barley and everything, we just give it to the pigs out back, and then we have
but
a whole
are
like
they
sausage business.
secured, is the question.
They should be.
Okay.
Just whatever you do, like, cause last week they got out, and my God, it took us almost the whole week to get them all back.
No one knows how to keep pigs these days anymore.
No.
It's a dying art.
Yeah.
I'm learning as I go. Okay, I'm trying to make like we're in a sausage business startup also, right? So,
Oh, okay.
Entrances. Are there entrances?
well, what do you mean entrances? Front door right there.
And
Well, there's the employee
we are
entrance.
standing in front of.
Yeah,
And
Yeah. and the
Taylor
Preston gang is, and in fact you hear a gunshot, and one of the windows in the front. and
Are they
glass.
inside and we are
Yeah.
outside?
They're outside, and they just shot through a window.
And we are inside.
Yeah, but they don't.
Yeah, are there entrances?
Yeah, there's if you go out the back, straight back through the brewing operation, through the warehouse, you can get back to the loading dock. But we put the pig pens back there, which is why I'm saying
Yeah.
if you go back out that way, you just don't let the pigs out.
I think we need a pig wrangler.
Hey, look,
We need to.
if I gotta
let
step
the
up, I'll
pigs
step
out.
up. I think we need a diversion, don't we? We need a pig-based diversion. I'm sorry, buddy. We're going to funnel these pigs through this area out the front door, distract the Preston gang.
Don't worry,
gonna-
we've done this before.
But we're experts at this.
You guys are gonna ruin me.
You've already had practice at getting your pigs back in. This should be a walk in the park for you.
You please, God, anything but that.
Have you got a better idea for a distraction for these?
How about you guys just go, like, I don't know why you came in here and stole this from me anyway. I bought it at auction. I'm telling the truth, I swear.
Look, we had our reasons for stealing this.
Look,
Whether or not you got it by some ill means or not, it's not really our concern.
well, I swear I didn't get it by ill means, but
It wasn't like Dad's to sell.
Yeah, this is stolen goods. We just reappropriated it.
okay, I've been helping them with stolen goods, okay?
That was easy.
There you
But
go.
just don't, like, if everything, we're precarious here anyway. I'm trying to, anyway, look, if you have to get out, also, you could go out through the machine room. There's a back door in the machine room, but under the windmill. But if you go out back there, they might have that entrance covered.
No, I think we should do the pig idea. I think that's.
I don't know now. How about I scout ahead the side entrance first, the machine entrance, just to make sure.
Let me set the scene here for you
Okay.
so that you know what the inside of this place looks like. So this is, it's a town a little bit away from the capital of Konova, which is Guraton, and you're kind of down the east bank of the lake. And this place is a little bit, it gives, just as a shorthand, a little bit Wild West vibes, right? So these wooden buildings with kind of these prairie and dusty streets going through, tumbleweeds blow by in this season. It is not the rainy season around here, so it's quite dry. And so, you have this brewery, and it's a standalone building. It's actually a large farm complex where they farm the barley nearby that they use, and the hops as well. And the building itself, you're in sort of this wide open entrance room where it's subdivided into like this open space. There's some storage and like a little shop, like a gift shop. And then on the other side, there's a restaurant that goes up to a balcony. And that looks over a big room filled with enormous copper kettles for like the brewing process and fermenting. And also they do some distilling here as well. And then behind that room is a processing room where they process grains and they start the cooking process. And behind that is the warehouse. And hypothetically, as you've smelled, behind that is the pigs outside, out back. And then to the wings, there's offices on one side, and there's the machine room on the other side, which is connected to a windmill or a Numenera powered wind catching device that helps to create the energy that contributes to the distilling and the cooking. So it's a big multi-room complex. Each room is quite big with these enormous pieces of machinery.
Not a microbrewery.
No. This is a big one. So you hear Nathaniel. You hear the footsteps around. You've got the brewers inside. They're all just kind of holding back because they're not really armed here. But the Preston gang does run a protection racket in this area of the east side of the lake. And they also, for some reason, want this device as well.
Wait, did you say windmill? That was run by some sort of Numenera device?
Yes.
I think maybe we could rig that up to like kind of, I don't know, like explode or something while they try to come in.
Might be a little dangerous creating an explosion with all this alcohol around.
We need to find a vehicle to get away from here and block the road behind us so the Preston gang doesn't follow us. We can do it with pigs or with windmill.
Pigs feels safer.
Okay,
Love the
For-
pigs.
Nathaniel, we need a getaway vehicle. We'll do our best to leave your brewery intact. If you can help us out, create a diversion.
Are you stealing my carriage too?
I mean, hey, look, it's that or we're goners, you know. The Preston gang ain't known for taking prisoners.
No. You got all right. Look, if you just get out of here and you get the Preston gang away from here too, then fine. We're even. Just get them off my property. You can have that, whatever it is.
You'll collect your pigs somewhere.
He reaches into his pocket. Here's the key to my carriage.
Nice. Yoink.
If it makes it any better, I take one of the 2 books left from the library. This is ancient and probably costs a lot of money.
He
I'm giving
opens
you
it up.
ancient knowledge.
I can't even read it.
That's why it's valuable.
It doesn't have pictures.
Oh, buddy.
And Nate, I'm telling you, this is for the best. Like you've clearly been like holding on to this brewery for like several generations now.
Yeah.
You need to escape your past. You need to like ditch all of this and like go on the road. It's so much more exciting out there.
It's true.
Make me a persuasion check. This is gonna be a difficulty 15 check.
Okay. Where's the roll?
It's intellect.
It's a 1.
A 1. Just get the fuck out of my brewery, okay?
You'll thank me later.
I'm gonna be calling the authorities as soon as you guys get out of here, so you better get on the road.
Okay, who's starting the vehicle? Who's letting out the pigs?
I mean, I'm the driver, I guess, but I'm also the pig guy.
I can let out the pigs. I did it before.
Okay.
You got previous.
I have
You hear-
expertise.
You hear Tyler Preston Webb. He says, "Now I'm gonna count 10, and if you haven't come out there with your hands up, I'm gonna be busting down that door."
All right. Can you make it 30? We just gotta steel ourselves.
No,
Well, shit.
Isaiah, take
For the dog.
Okay,
take
let's,
Billy and James and Fred and
That's
go
because
around the
he
back.
doesn't
Let's go
know
quick.
how to count to
Let's go.
30.
let's go quick.
Okay,
He
I want to
didn't
go. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to go release the hogs.
Okay.
Excellent.
You head back through past these enormous copper kettles, back into the the processing room where there's piles of like boxes and buckets of grain and piles of the various things that they need for brewing their different drinks. And then you get into the warehouse, a long room full of all the dry goods carefully stored and labeled. And out the back, there's this big lifting door, sort of like a garage door that lifts and rolls up, and you know that the pigs should be out there. You can, in fact, from here you can hear them. So go on and do it.
Roll for it?
No, you go open the door, and the pigs, you just like open it, and the pigs are just there. There's like 30 or 40 of them, and they like
Wild hogs?
look at 30 or 40 wild hogs, and they're not wild actually.
Okay.
These ones are domestic.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
But they just kind of like look at you and then like go back to rooting around.
I want to like get to the back of the pen.
Yeah.
I want to lift up my rifle and just shoot twice.
Nice.
Okay. I would like you to make me an intimidation check for the hogs.
Interesting.
It's a simple task. However, if you want them to get to go in a direction of your choosing, it's going to be a DC 12.
Can I use my impressive display by looking cool, which would give me an asset on interaction, which in this case would be an interaction with the pigs?
Now, I have to throw it to the rest of you. Do you think, just out of curiosity, do you think culturally the pigs have a similar concept of what's cool as Cornelius does?
I
We are
think
playing a futuristic world. Depends of what is the pig's fashion sense.
animals across the board can sense kind of confidence and high status.
Pigs
Okay.
are especially smart.
Yeah.
Sure.
I once intimidated a swan by whipping my jacket up like that and like marching towards it.
There you go, Cornelius. Make it a difficulty 9.
Yeah.
You can use
18.
18. What do you do?
I just like stand in the back, shoot my rifle up in the air,
Yeah.
at the pigs, and just like shout, "Ah!" to get them to run out towards the front.
The pigs freak the fuck out and stampede. Literally, they just start stampeding. We're gonna pause you there, and we're gonna cut across to those of you in the front room. You just heard. What else has been going on? Because you split up to do other parts of the plan.
I'm gonna try and start the vehicle, the carriage.
Vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get Meniscus into the carriage.
Okay. So the meniscus device, it's this sack with this ball in it. Like, you haven't really looked in it, but when you just took a peek to verify what it was, it's this metal ball with all kinds of like sort of like decorations around it as a circle, with little bits of like pins and other things sticking out of it, and a couple of holes sticking into it. Really hard to understand actually what it is and what it does, but you know that you have to get it in order to operate a particular submarine so that you can get to the bottom of Lake Darset.
I think I'm staying behind to help corral these pigs.
Okay, so you're staying in the middle,
Yeah.
and you're heading off. It's the cart is parked outside the office.
Okay.
So you've headed away from the machine room toward the left wing. Machine room's on
Also
the right.
trying to make sure, I mean, did I hear them saying they're going to come around the side? I want to try and avoid
Yeah.
that, or...
Yeah.
Yeah. throw them
You
off.
don't know. Make me a luck check to figure out if they're coming around your side.
Oops. It's a 4.
4. Well, we'll see.
Think I have an idea.
You get to the office and you see them moving around the window side from the office.
Can I lay down some covering fire?
You can, absolutely. Make me a difficulty. I'm gonna say 9.
Are we back up to full stats? I mean,
You're all
we've
back
still
up to
reached-
full.
Oh, okay.
Full
That's
health.
cool,
Yeah.
that's
Okay. Difficulty 9.
Difficulty 9 to like lay down. There's 3 of them who have come around this side of the building.
Okay, I'll definitely add some, use some edge.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a speed roll for you.
Yeah, do I have anything to... Not really. Other than sensing danger, it doesn't really count. Okay, so speed roll, so I can reduce it.
You can reduce it. How much edge do you have?
I've edged 1.
So you can
effort 2.
You can and you have 2 efforts, so you can spend up to 2 levels on this. The first level costs 2.
Yeah.
And the second level costs 3, but it would be 2 because of your.
Okay, so down to 8, and then
Yeah.
I reduce from 9 to 6.
Yeah.
9 to 6 or 9 to 3?
Are you spending 2 levels? You drop down to 3.
Okay. 13.
You hear it's your rifle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fire at the ground near in front of where they are.
Right. So the glass window explodes, shatters. You hear gunfire. You hear 2 shots come from deep back in the building, and then you hear gunfire erupt from the left side. Where is Ruta heading?
I'm taking the device,
Yeah.
Maniscus, into the car.
Okay. So you go around. You're in the office as well. This device is heavy. You sling it up over your shoulder, and Dale lays down covering fire. All 3 of the guys on this side leap for cover. It's pretty flat, but they just like throw themselves on the ground, and they're like wrestling to get their weapons aligned as well. And the car is just a straight shot out the door.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you to make a speed check for me. And the difficulty is get to the car, unlock the door, and get in the car before they get a beat on you and start firing. And so the difficulty is, again, going to be 9. Or no, we're going to make it 6 because of the covering fire.
Okay, I'll just take it.
Hey.
Good,
Hey.
19.
So you get around, you pick the right side of the car as well, the far side from them, and you open the door and you throw this in, clunk, clunk, and then you hop in the car.
Is a 19 some sort of extra special success?
19 it would give you a minor effect in combat.
Oh, combat.
Did you roll a 19 on the
I
die?
rolled a 19.
Cool. Let me know if you roll anything over 17. It's
Okay.
nice to know, because in combat we get special effects for that. In this case, you're safe in the car and you're starting to figure out how to get it moving as well. Because it's of Canova industrial design, so it has this sort of like, it uses a different engine than you use up north.
It has this like wooden beads on the seats. It's odd.
Is it right wheel drive?
It is,
Right-hand drive.
the drive is actually like in the middle of the front compartment. And then there's sort of a back compartment as well. It's like kind of like in a way a really old car, like a Model T or something, in which it's this very boxy vehicle.
Okay.
And you figure out how to start it up with a 19. You also figure out how to start it up, and it goes, and it's something is starting to catch and activate.
It's like a Cybertruck. Very boxy and
It's less stupid.
rusty. Okay, less stupid. Got it.
It's made of wood.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Different types of-
boss is here. Let's go.
Let's go for Victor.
So I'm standing in front of like these 30 to 40 wild hogs, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to get them to go for
Domesticated hogs.
Domesticated, sorry. To get them to go for the people who are no longer outside in front of the brewery.
Yeah.
Right. And they come at me, and I'm quickly realizing I'm ill-equipped for this task.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact,
Read them a poem.
the last time you had interaction with the wild hogs
Yeah.
was, remind us,
Was outside the
outside the harvest engine, outside the respiratorium.
respiratorium.
Yeah.
And like I think I was in the mid. I don't know exactly what it was. It was the middle of a bit of chaos. Like I
Yeah.
was coming at them from one direction, and they were coming at the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And I tried to just get out of the way as quickly as possible.
You were in the respiratorium,
Yeah.
and at your side was Torath Haggis, who you hadn't seen
Yeah.
since before the war,
Yeah.
and he'd found you there. In this moment, as these 40 pigs are charging through this brewery, and behind you, you can hear a foot slamming on the door, and the door starting to splinter and open as Tyler Preston Webb and his gang start to bust in. What is going through Victor's mind in this moment?
At this moment, I think it. So, like, I think Victor entered the situation with, like, he's still. I think like he's still sort of like traumatized by the incidents that came out of the respiratorium of like this his past life catching up to him.
Yeah.
At this point, he just wants pure adrenaline to like run away from all of that. He's just trying to get the most exciting thing at any point of time to like to like forget and like not have to think about like the horrible situation that he's in.
So there's like a thrill in this
That
moment.
it's pure thrill seeking with like no forethought.
Amazing.
We're all doing real good at the moment, these characters.
So what does Victor do? The door bursts open. There's Tyler Preston Webb in he's got this cowboy hat, sort of like big wide-brimmed black hat, his duster swirling around him, and he has this weapon of Konova make. It's a Konova pistol with a long barrel, and he just sort of like has it up in the air as he comes down, and he's looking for the first target that he can. He's a little bit trigger happy, and behind him you can see 3 or 4 guys trying to like press through. They're like, "Boss, get out of the way! I want to get in."
So I'm seeing the pigs. They're coming at me. I know I need to go in the opposite direction. I turn around. I see these people in front of me.
Yeah.
I just want to like take a moment to say that it's like about 30 degrees outside and he's wearing a leather jacket.
Yeah.
Dumb choice, dude.
Hey, don't question my fashion. I look fucking dashing, you know?
Yeah, I'm wearing a velvet bathrobe as well still. But somehow
look at
yours is
you.
worse.
I'm worse. You're wearing you came out in the countryside wearing a velvet bathrobe. How do you expect that thing
It's
to last?
monogrammed. I can't give it to someone else.
This is very Hitchcocker Guide Through Galaxy, like all adventure, because he's still wearing the bathrobe as he was kidnapped from his place before.
Is it monogrammed with a VS or an MF?
VS, I think.
VS.
Yeah.
Well, you just gotta find, I don't know, Victoria Snakes or someone. I know a Victoria Snakes. You want me to pass it on for you?
No. Okay. Wait.
Hey, Victor, how's that diversion going?
Oh, right.
Right. I tried to like jump out of the way and so that like the pigs collide into them.
Great. I need you to make me a speed check for, this is like a defense roll to see how fast you can get out of the way. And I'm going to say, with all of the things going on, it is a difficulty 12.
Okay, I'll spend effort to...
Yeah, you've
reduce
got
that.
bullets coming in one direction and pigs coming in the other direction.
So that makes it... does the armor slow me down or something?
You know what? There's an armor rule in Numenera, and we didn't figure out how it works. Do you want me to try to look up armor real quick?
I remember the rule. I remember that the effort goes 1 up.
Yeah, it
The
costs
cost.
you. Yeah, it costs you 1 more if it says 1 there.
Okay, so then it cost me 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Do you
I'm
have?
like that like
If I fail this roll, this velvet bathrobe is gonna get
that
ripped.
school
Do you
kid
have
that
edge and
reminds-
speed?
No, I do not have edge and
Okay,
speed.
yeah. So it costs you 4.
All right. So I'm
Or
going
maybe
for
you're not wearing armor. You're wearing a bathrobe.
It's a very nicely made bathrobe
Yeah, I guess.
of some Sildefenian silk
Maybe
fiber.
it has like defenses against Numenera, but not really against bullets.
Whatever it is, you are gonna try to dive out of the way. So you dropped it down to a 9.
All right, let's go. 15.
15. You dive out of the way. Bullets shooting into the brewery. Bing, bang. You hear a tank get hit by a bullet and just start to fountain whatever is brewing there. Nathaniel's like, no, don't shoot your guns. And then these pigs, and Tyler's like, oh fuck, and they burst through the front of the building, tearing the entire front door off the hinges, and the entire front facade of the building just bursts out as these 30 to 40 not so wild hogs
That'll teach you to
Behaving
back, right?
wild currently.
behaving wildly burst through and carried these guys off. You see them get lost in the stampede. And Nathaniel's like, I just paid off the loan for that. The poor guy. But you like pick yourself up off the ground and start heading toward the offices. Cornelius, coming around from the other side, there's 3 other guys who got sent around this way, and they see you. They're gonna try to take a shot at you. You see one of them stand up with the rifle, and 2 of them pull out clubs and start sprinting toward you as you're there in this pen. So I'm gonna ask you to make a difficulty 9 speed check.
I can do that, I think. 11.
11. He takes a shot at you, but you dive behind the fence, and the fence cracks and wood splinters fly everywhere. But this is a place that you have been, you've been before. You've been shot at before. You've got training for it. What do you do in this moment?
I'm going to try and run while diving for any cover I can see as I run.
Okay. Are you trying to go around the outside of the building, out of the pen, or are you trying to go back into the building?
I want to go, let's go outside the building.
Cool. So I'm going to ask you to make another speed roll to see if you can, this is vaulting the fence and outrunning them around the side of the building.
Oh.
So again, it's going to be a difficulty 9.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah. No.
That's a 6. So you are, you run to the fence and you vault over it. What? And you just faceplant in the dust.
Shaun of the Dead style.
Exactly. My foot gets caught. I'm just.
The one guy, he's getting his rifle back together, but the 2 others come wheeling around on you, and they've both got these like really heavy looking wooden clubs that have, nice nice oiled wood, but also that sort of look of like, that is an oil imprint from hitting somebody in the face.
Oh.
And so they come around and they're getting these clubs ready against you. You can see, or you can hear the of this vehicle, and you can kind of see around the corner and hear gunshots coming from that side. You're not very far away, but these 2 guys get to you.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna ask you to make another speed check as they start to swing at you.
Can we see this at all, or?
You are in the office, still laying down covering fire.
Oh, yeah, / making my way towards the van itself. Or
Cool.
the carriage.
You will see it in just a moment, but in this first moment, you don't have eyes on it.
So is it a 9 again?
It's a 9 again.
Let's just use let's bring it down to 6.
Yeah.
Wait, I have an edge of 1 speed, which means it would cost me
Costs you 2.
Okay. 12.
12. They start, like, the first one comes and swings to try to catch you, and you just, like, get up back out of the way, and then you have both of them sort of lining up. They have not, like, gotten a good angle on you, so you're starting to back away from them. Let's do one more roll for you in this moment, and then we'll cut to Dale coming out of there. And Ruta is focusing on the vehicle, but might be able to see you as well. So, what would you like to do? Do you want to run, or do you want to try to engage?
I still want to run.
Okay, so give me another speed check.
I'm going to once again use
Yeah.
some of my pool. Bring it to 6.
Uh-huh.
13.
13. You get in this moment of like standoff with them, and then sprint. The other guy fires a rifle shot, cracks out. Dale, you hear this rifle shot coming from behind as well. These guys in front of you on the other side of the office who you put covering fire on, they're down under, like behind a little embankment and some shrubs that are sort of like nicely decorating the front of this brewery outside the restaurant area. And they're starting to try to get a beat on you. One of them has a rifle and 2 of them have clubs, and they're kind of like trying to crawl forward.
Can I see all this as well?
You're just arriving at the office. You see Dale busting through the door. The car with Ruta in it, maybe it is starting to like slowly pull out in neutral or something.
Uh-huh.
And the guys, and you see just shattered glass everywhere. But Dale, you step out, you look toward the gunshots, and you see just like between 50 and 100 feet away, you see Cornelius sprinting and 2 other guys sprinting after Cornelius. You have those guys on that side chasing Cornelius, and you have these guys who you were pinning down just a moment ago.
2 weeks ago, last session.
Yeah.
In real time and in game time. Interesting. That never happens. I picked up a rod, a helmet, a pouch, a tin, and a wristband.
Oh my god.
Have I had time to figure these things out, and are any of them useful in this situation?
You absolutely have had time to figure these things out. Where did I put my...
Probably should have asked you this sometime in the last 2 weeks in the real world, but here we are.
Hang on. I just got to pull up the right notes. So... Just loading up my notes, and here we go. Artifacts. Okay, the mask. It was a mask and a helmet together. You took both of them. The mask it's like that tool that the optometrist puts on you. It's this very heavy, bulky eyepiece with these different colored, like ruby, red, and emerald green lenses. This mask allows you to see ethereal details of the world. Okay. It has motes, like when you put it on and you activate it, it reveals these like little floating motes, or sometimes like runes of an incomprehensible language that seem to be almost irregular in their construction. You've never seen any single rune of the same as another one. And threads, little tiny threads that when you move your hand near, especially objects of Numenera, it catches on them and kind of like pulls them around like currents in the air, or even thick ley lines. It can see these things. So with this, you gain an asset on anything related to perception of the physical and the etheric world. But it costs an intellect to activate.
Right. That doesn't sound useful. I guess maybe I should be specific what I'm looking for right now. Something maybe that's like something like a smoke screen, or caltrops, or something to like pin people back somehow.
The small tapered rod is the observator's wand, which you use intellect to fire etheric pulses. And you can use it to assess Numenera artifacts, but you can directly convert intellect into damage over a short range within 50 feet. Let's see.
That could be useful.
The wristband it's like one of those slap bracelets basically, but it's a sonic hole. You set it down and it draws all sound in a medium range, like a room-sized area, like 100 feet or so, into it.
Also a great punk club back in Silderfen.
The Sonic Hole.
The Sonic Hole,
yeah. And then this tin that you had is, it had those tiny, like thin foils, basically, that it smelled kind of minty, actually. Do you know these things where you put them on your tongue and they kind of like dissolve on your tongue, like
breath strips?
Breath strips. Yeah. It's like that, but it's called cat's eye. And when you dissolve them on your tongue, you can see in the dark for an hour or so. Like you get basically like low light vision. And
while we're at the pouch, I guess?
The pouch. The pouch. Where did the pouch come from?
I just have a pouch written.
You just have a pouch.
Could have been a pouch. I don't know.
I think you put them in a pouch.
Okay. Well, then I will use the Observer's Ward, which looks more threatening. I guess the people chasing Cornelius, like they're like... Which looks more threatening? The people I've been pinning back, or the people chasing Cornelius?
They both look pretty threatening.
Okay, well, then I will try and point the Observer's Rod at these people and deter them.
So what sort of effect you want to blast a broad, like disabling wave in a way?
Yeah.
All right.
Like past Cornelius or over his head or something.
Cool. So with this sort of etheric pulse, I'm gonna say it's gonna cost you 3 intellect to use, and I'm gonna ask you to roll a difficulty 9 task.
Okay.
Against them.
Okay.
Actually, let's say it's a difficulty 6 because they do not have defense against this sort of thing. 19. That gives us +3 damage or a minor effect. So you could have it ignore armor, strike a specific body part, knock them back, distract them. So distracting them, right?
Distract / knock prone, yeah.
Okay, so you whip out this wand. What does it look like as this pulse goes off?
What does this wand look like?
It's a tapered wand with some like bumps over on it, but it's that same porcelain color as the Temple of Both
I'm
the
going to say
Clouds.
it's like one of those telescopic beating sticks.
Yeah.
And I just go, but it's porcelain. And I go,
and it and this sort of like you can see the disturbance sort of move through the air. The air kind of like charges almost a little bit blue purple, and that moves through and fully knocks them back onto their asses basically as they go tumbling back and like stumbling and kind of like clutching their ears as they have this ringing sound in their ears and like hearing voices or something like at the edges of their shoulders, and they seem to be taken out of commission for the moment.
cool.
I was like, I put the mirror down, put lipstick on, was tapping on the like steering joystick. Then I heard that. I'm like, here we go. And I kick the door, the passenger door with my foot.
Cool. You kick the door open. Cornelius, door opens.
Roll in.
You dive in, and Victor
so, like, are
comes.
any of the other people who are going for Dale still threatening?
yeah, on the other side, they're starting to. One of them is taking a shot, and the other two are coming up toward the office door with clubs. So I'm gonna ask Dale to make a defense roll, and you have like two guys are coming into the office. One of them vaults in through the broken window, and the other one comes to the door to try to cut you off.
That's a 7. I have 1 armor. I don't know if that makes a 7 anything better.
No, your target was 9, and so that's not so good for you. It's gonna reduce the damage by 1, but you feel this punch in the back of your shoulder. It's 5 might damage as this
5.
rifle bullet
Scheiße.
hits you in the shoulder, and you stumble. Let's go for you.
I would like to use my push at the
Yeah.
two people who are coming towards me.
Great. So this is your nano ability. Okay. Let's do it.
Takes 2 intelligence.
Push takes 2 intellect
Yeah.
points, but you have an edge of
Yeah, so that's
1,
15.
right? So
Yeah.
it takes just 1. And you can push him. To push, it's a quick push force in any direction you want. You can push them like up to 10 feet, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like a telekinetic shove
Shoving
in a
them
way.
back. Can I shove them in a direction so that are the hogs anywhere close by?
No,
Okay,
you
they're
can.
taken out.
You hear the hogs spilling outside the front of the building,
Okay.
and like starting to get like down into the road.
Okay. So I just like push them back out the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a would be a difficulty 9, unless you use intellect to lower the difficulty.
I'm just gonna try. 13.
13.
Twice.
So there's 2 guys. One has hopped into the office behind you, and one is right in front of you in the doorway. I assume the guy in the doorway, you just shove him.
Yeah. Can I push them both back out the doorway?
With a 13, I'm not going to let you get both of them because
Okay,
they
just
came
one of them.
at you
Okay,
from
okay.
different sides.
Okay.
But I will let you get the one in front
that's
of you.
closest to me. Yeah,
What does
yeah.
it look like when you do this telekinetic shove?
So as with most of my nano abilities, they get like intensified by the pulses of like extra dimensional energy that are in my bones. So like
Yeah.
it hurts as I exercise them, and I feel like this strain and like the air around me starts vibrating. I kind of channel it out through my hands at them.
And just this compression of air, almost like a water vapor left over that's been squeezed out of the air, sort of a mist out in front of your hands as this guy just gets pushed, landing, like tumbling 10 feet beside the door of the carriage, but just like ass over tea kettle. And you...
Can I just quickly like blow the smoke off my hands?
Yeah, it's like a water vapor, almost like a little mist forms. And you watch this guy get blown out of the doorway, and Victor walks out wearing, what color is your velvet bathrobe?
Burgundy.
Wearing a burgundy velvet bathrobe with hands that are steaming. But I do want you to make a defense check as this other guy comes at you with the club. So this is difficulty 9.
9, okay. Let's just go for it again. Dice have been good. 16.
16. You dodge out of the way and you step through the door and you get to the carriage as he's running after you. Dale, you dived in the carriage, but you took a hit.
You alright?
Yep.
Stings like hell.
I see Dale wounded and think that...
That thing never ends, huh?
Yep. Keeps on going.
I think he restocked at the brewery as like the full bats were shot.
I look at the wound and think that it probably will add to the collection of scars and think about tracing them with my fingers. And then back
Nice.
to
Who's in the carriage right now?
All of you are in the carriage. Like maybe Victor's sort of like hanging out with one foot on the running board outside the carriage with the door swinging open. And this is for Ruta. I'd like you to roll to operate this Numenera device. Someone roll me a d6, please, before we get this roll.
5.
5. This thing is a complicated device. These are very new, so...
What am I rolling? Is this intellect?
The difficulty to get this to run right is 15.
Can I help at all with my vehicle knowledge?
You can help with vehicle knowledge.
And with Numenera.
And with Numenera knowledge. You're sort of looking at it. Ruta...
I have inability in knowledge and
4?
ability in danger.
What does that mean?
Inside danger lies.
Yeah.
And
And knowledge.
And spells.
And what's the danger one?
It just like I have a skill in that. Inside slash danger.
Good at danger.
You just have a skill at danger. Well, you can get 2 assets, and
I have disadvantage on knowledge, so.
And you can put effort into it.
That's what I want to do. So what am I looking at?
So you're looking at, so with these 2 guys, it brings it from a 15 down to a 9, helping you. So Dale is like, that's the accelerator and that's the clutch. And Victor is like, oh, but this is power management and you need to work the power management here. You can see there's no power.
Give it more gas! More gas!
But at the same time, not too much.
Is it a button or is it a lever? I don't know. It's
like half press the button and 3/4 pull the lever.
Flange the crank!
And you have this stick with like a finger, like a hand grip on it as well.
Yeah.
In addition to like foot pedals that like turn side to side, and there's a lot of stuff
the way I
going
need
on
to
here.
operate this stick is counterintuitive. What is the I'm spending effort on this. What is the result?
The result, just one level of effort, is it drops it down to a 6.
Nice.
No!
He's a 5.
Okay.
Why did you have to say nice? The dice can hear you.
Beautiful. You peel out
I go. Yeah.
into reverse, and then you do not know how to put it into forward quickly, and all of a sudden you're starting to get rocked as you drive right into the middle of a press of wild hogs.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You have wild hogs all around you. Give me one more roll. Let's bump it up back to this 9, with everybody being like, no, that's forward. No, put the energy into the wheels.
I don't know how to go forward, so I want to turn it around and keep escaping, but like backwards.
Okay,
The other left.
They're gaining.
That's a 14.
14. You whip around and you're blasting backwards. The cool thing about this is it's the gearing on it is actually not, because it's a Numenera device. It kind of has the same power going forward and reverse. So you're just going in reverse, for which you have a back window about this big and no side mirrors. And you're going in reverse at 30 kilometers an hour.
Is Victor still hanging out
Yeah,
back?
I'm like, go left, no, your left, no, mine.
Oh my God.
Which way is left?
It's reversed for when it's reversed.
Victor, you're hanging on the back. Cool. I want you to make me a defense roll as coming up, gripping onto the back, like there's a spare tire on the back, gripping onto the back and like grabbing up and crawling his way up onto the top is Tyler Preston Webb. As he takes out his gun, flips it around, and goes to whack you with it. And I want you to make me a defense roll, and this is going to be a difficulty 12.
Oh, and I would use might to reduce this?
You can use speed to reduce
Speed,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll spend speed. So that's a 5 and makes it a 9, right?
Yeah.
12.
12. You dodge this thing, but he's on top of it. You know he got carried out by the pigs into the street, and you backed up into the street, and he saw the vehicle, and he grabbed onto it. And so he swings at you, and then he flips it around, and he puts the barrel against the top of the wooden top of this vehicle, and he's just going to start blindly firing into the vehicle.
Jesus.
But he has made an attack at you and he missed. So I'm going to give Victor an opportunity to do. What do you do?
What are we driving past at the moment?
There is like a mailbox and a little picket fence, sort of like a farm style, like long picket fence that's made up of just like boards of wood put through posts. Sort of like that farm style fence. Yeah. And there's like, coming up in like 20, 30 feet is just a mailbox with a little flag on it.
Perfect. So as we go past that mailbox, I want to shoot my dart thrower through his jacket at the mailbox so that it like pins his jacket to the mailbox and drags him off the car with it.
Okay. This is like a trick shot, so I'm going to say he would normally be a 12, but this is very difficult to line up because you're on a moving vehicle. I'm in between bumping it up 1 or 2 steps.
I mean, if he fails, there may still be a mild success. It may not pin him to the...
Yeah, I'm going to bump it up to, it's a 15. What the rest of you see is Victor is hanging onto the door that's swinging open as you're driving, and he has not gotten back in the vehicle yet. Is there anything that you want to do in this split second? You have like half an action.
I want to mount my dagger onto my rifle.
Okay, like a bayonet.
Yeah. And then go towards the... That's too much probably for half action.
So
I want to like...
Yeah. So you arm up. You get your dagger on, and then you're coming out toward where Victor's hanging out the door. Okay. Do you have anything?
I'm just going to quickly check on Mr. Scrinkles to make sure he's okay throughout all this.
You open up your jacket, and Mr. Scrinkles is just like looking frazzled. I think the smell of the pigs has him like really on edge.
Okay.
Probably a little bit of PTSD.
Don't worry, buddy. They're domestic.
As if that's better. Ruta, you're focusing on driving. I don't think you can do anything else.
Alright.
Let's go for your dart thrower. It's a 15.
And I can use speed again?
You can use speed.
Alright, let's take that off again. 12?
Yes.
Oh, 1. This is where Victor learns his lesson.
What happens with a 1? Okay. You go to shoot your dart thrower. As you do, you fire the dart. It goes up. He ducks, and as he ducks, he fires his gun. Ruta, as you're driving, and you hear this loud bang, and you look in front of you, and the dash all of a sudden has Numenera arcs of etheric sparking going through
Where did it hit?
There's a hole coming from the top. Are you wearing a hat, by the way?
No.
Okay, so you felt this breeze across your hair, a little bit of your hair, and like falls down because it like clipped part of your bangs as this bullet passed right over your head into the dash of this vehicle. And the particular control, that is the brake, is broken. This vehicle cannot stop now. except by physical force on it or running out of fuel.
Guys, I have good news and bad news. Good news, we are unstoppable. Bad news, literally.
In this moment, he's going to take another move and try to kick you off the door. So what he does is he does one of these moves where he just kind of he's trying to like vault into the vehicle. So he goes and he shoots both his feet out at you. So I would like a difficulty 12 check to avoid his booted feet.
19.
You flip out of the way. He comes down and now he's standing like on the running board on the opposite side, right? So we have the vehicle and the door is swinging open and Victor's hanging onto the door and he's hanging onto the other side, hanging onto the roof, and Cornelius is coming through the middle with the bayonet. So we're gonna go to Cornelius.
I want to stab him.
Okay, give me
stab.
a difficulty 12 check.
Can I bring it down?
You can bring it down with might effort.
Yeah. And do I have anything else? No. 13.
13, nice. Your bayonet is gonna do you have how much damage it does?
4.
4 damage. So you just take this and you just spear it right into him. It slams into him and he's gripping on and he looks at you and he grins at you and he cocks his weapon and he brings it to bear at point blank range. He's gonna fire his pistol at you.
Oh shit.
So this is gonna be a difficulty 12 to avoid. Actually, before this happens, Dale, in this moment, is there an action that you want to take?
Am I within range to like boot him, like,
Yeah.
or shove him? Yeah, I'm gonna try
Yeah,
and
you can. He's kind of
try and
like
trip or shove him somehow.
by the passenger window, so you would kick through the window.
Yeah, I want to put him off his stride.
Okay,
Do I
go
roll?
for it. Yeah,
Straight roll.
I'll give it to you difficulty 9 because he's just been stabbed. Or he's
Okay.
being stabbed in this moment.
19.
19.
Dice are hot today.
Dice are hot.
Dice are red
So
hot.
Yeah.
I am asking minor effect knockback in this. You're in this old timey car. You stand up. There's a window there. You can see this guy. This bayonet lands in him. You watch him cock and his gun, and you just take your foot and put it through the
Boot
window.
him in the chest. Yeah.
Boot him. He looks for a moment startled. You hit him and he hits the ground as your vehicle goes down the road.
Fuck yeah!
I use the only control left, which is acceleration, because I don't want to meet Nate's wife.
Yeah.
I high five Cornelius.
Uh,
That's living!
it's
I kind of swing back, screaming, woohoo!
you're all safely in the vehicle. You get it closed, but there's a lot of ventilation now because a hole in the roof, windows busted, wheels. You can feel something coming loose as you accelerate and accelerate. There's a sharp turn coming because there's a cliff edge or like a downhill. You know, it's not a cliff, but there's like a downhill.
Like an anchor in this vehicle?
I mean, I could create a sonic hole in our pathway and we could...
Just hold on to something.
So I would like you to make one more steering roll.
Have you tried not accelerating?
YOLO.
Difficulty 15 to drive this thing because we decided it was a complex Numenera device.
Is this speed?
This is. I'll let it be either speed or intellect, whatever pleases you.
Of course, that would be intellect.
Great. So you drop it down to a 12, and then
Yes.
with everybody
Assist,
pitching in and assisting, that's a 6.
Oh, nice.
Don't.
10.
Stop tempting it.
10.
Oh, easy!
Yeah.
You whip this thing around the corner, this embankment. It kind of like goes up on 2 wheels and then comes crashing back down and back out and out of this small village on the way back toward the capital city of Konova, back to Guraton. And as you escape that, we are going to take a moment and go to break, and we'll come back as we resolve this action. So let me just get a break screen up for everyone, and here we go. And we're back, and we've just left the gang as they broke out of the the Shady Hill Brewing Company in a vehicle that is stuck in reverse, barreling down a dusty dirt highway. They kicked Tyler Preston Webb, the leader of the gang, off the vehicle as he went crashing into the bushes on the side of the road, these sort of like thorny prairie, Wild West type bushes, and they're barreling down the road. And we're gonna go to Ruta, who's driving backward at the moment. And I just want to ask, what is going through Ruta's head in this moment?
Oh, she's ashamed to admit, but she's actually feeling really well. Because as everyone on this party, she is shamefully also happier here than she was in Sildefen. Because in the Sildefen, there is this confusing web of like, there is a big to-do list and she doesn't feel confident how to resolve all of the spy thing. She just lost Taurus, so she's about to come back to Sildefen, report and get scolded that like she's not returning on good reputation. And this is fun.
So one detail about why maybe it's been difficult to head back to Sildefen, for some reason, the whatever embassy or consulate or presence of Lemuria here, you have a personal reason why engaging with this particular office may be difficult.
In Canova?
In Canova, yeah.
Of course I have an ex there.
Yeah.
It wasn't nice.
So the specific diplomatic liaising office that you would walk into is currently run by your ex, whom you thought you were safe from because you got sent to Sildefen far in the north and they got sent to Canova way down south, and here you are. What's going through your head about that? What are you thinking?
I'd better, like, it's between the rock and the hard place.
Yeah.
It's not great in Sildefen, but like, fuck no, I'm not engaging with Eva. Like, she, no.
What do you imagine it would be like if you walk into, how awkward would it be if you walk into that room and ask Eva for help that you're so far off your post?
Oh, she will be delighted. She will be very, no, that's not necessary. I will get this Numenera device to a submarine, get on a submarine, and get to the embassy where I don't have an ex who is maybe reasonably angry with me.
Okay, seems like we could really use some local knowledge. Has anybody got anyone that can help them out in this town?
No one.
All right.
Yeah, no.
I've never been here.
No, me neither.
You are headed up the coast to the outskirts of Guraton, where you're going to get to Isaiah Featherstone's laboratory. This is a man who, a little bit of a eccentric genius. He's been working on an underwater device that should be able to get someone down to the depths of Lake Derset. And somehow, through one of your connections, you have managed to link up with him and convince him that it should be you, and all he needs is the meniscus device that is going to help with the pressure and air to keep the air from making you all sick with carbon poisoning. So, who was it who had the connection to Isaiah?
I think I did from like my work at the university.
Okay.
He was a researcher in like in a similar field as I was, and we had exchanged correspondence but never actually seen each other.
Before the war, you were writing back and forth with this guy quite frequently about certain specific theoretical topics around Numenera and Arcana and etheric energies, and then the war cut off that contact, and you were here. You walked in. Let's play out that scene. as you walk into this room for the first time to meet Isaiah Featherstone with the gang behind you. It's the first day. Did you go directly there, or did you try to drive?
Yeah,
off?
like as soon as we like had our night of bonding and getting very drunk on Dale's never-ending flask. Like we, I think like the next morning I was like, oh, I know someone here.
So you crawled yourselves out of the lake, sopping wet, and you just sat on the edge of the lake, and everybody kind of got drunk and reminisced and shared their feelings, except for Ruta, who stormed off. And then you came back, you pulled yourselves together, and you led them to this really like elaborate shack, basically. It's sort of like a bit wooden structure with like metal panels and some like smokestacks poking out of the roof, and this like blue-gray smoke boop, 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 going off into it, and you can hear sort of like pistons and bellows in the background as you walk in. What do you do at the door?
Yeah, so clearly I don't know what to expect. I never met this man before, a person before, and I'm not in the most presentable condition.
Just a bathrobe.
Yeah.
Just a bathrobe?
No, I'm not.
Bathrobe,
Down, Dale.
bathrobe and pajamas.
Pajamas,
Okay.
pajamas.
Yeah, all right.
But like I've got like weeds in my hair, and like there's lake residue all over me, presumably.
Yeah, the bathrobe is still damp.
So yeah, I mean, there's nothing to be said. I go knock on the door, and like I have to like figure this out.
Cornelius, have you put a shirt on at this point, or did
Yeah.
you? Okay,
I'm not
okay.
gonna like, introduce myself to strangers without a shirt. That seems rude.
Taking advantage of the vulnerable.
Okay, well, if he's got a shirt on, I've got my shirt off.
Because it was Dale's shirt.
Yeah, well, I just feel kind of self-conscious because he's so ripped.
Yeah.
But then, my shirt's been all wet now, so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Do you have? Is this like? Fuck it. I lost
One of
it.
us has to always have
Yeah.
your shirt on.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
switches
It's
between
dad bod
It's
or
like-
gym bod.
it's like-
It's got to be one or the other.
No shirt duty,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which I'm not against.
yeah,
Dad bod or Jim bod.
yeah.
So there we go. We've got Dad bod, and we've got Cornelius, and we've got Ruta, and you ding 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 on the door, and you hear clang bang ding. Tsh, tsh. Yes, come in.
Professor Featherstone, are you in here, Professor Featherstone?
You open the door, and you see that blue smoke that's coming out of the smokestack is sort of hanging heavy in here. And this guy comes around the corner, and really classic, like short, like hunched guy with dirty, like oiled lab coat on, covered in like oil and all kinds of like rust spots here and stains there and rips and tears, but it says Isaiah on a little tag, like on the lapel here, and he has this like sort of like big nose taking up this tiny head with like balding up here, and just poof, the shock of like white mad scientist hair, big ears with hair coming out of them, and he pulls off these tiny little glasses that are just all grease stained, and he takes his greasy coat and goes and puts the glasses back on the nose. You're not sure if it did anything else.
Wait, how short is this guy?
He's like, he comes up to here on you.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're not the most tallest
no.
person, but he's shorter than you. Who are you?
It's Professor Facer from Myland, the Myland Upper University.
Oh, Phaser, it's been years since we've corresponded.
Yeah, no, lots has happened, unfortunately.
Yes, a lot, unfortunately. It's a very terrible situation.
Yeah.
We're so glad to see you. What brings you to town?
I mean, it's an honor to finally meet you. Like, your writings on the Caro hypothesis have been just, like some of the best work I'd ever read before.
Oh, that work has advanced quite a bit
Oh,
since
wow, I'm so
we-
excited to hear more about that.
It's been, what, almost 10 years?
Wow, okay, yeah, right,
But
yeah.
I'm distracted at the moment. I've got some other things going on. But I have, going back to that hypothesis, I have a project I'm trying, Please, sorry, where are my manners? Who are your associates? Are these
Oh,
your...
I'm sorry.
Are
Yeah,
you
no,
teaching
these-
now? Are these your students?
No, not exactly. No. We are. It's my friends. We find ourselves in an unfortunate predicament, and
Oh.
we might need your help. And maybe a place to have a shower.
Charmed. He takes your hand and plants a greasy kiss on it.
Dale Briscoe.
Also charmed. Also charmed. Yes, this is how we greet each other. I'm Professor Isaiah Featherstone. He looks at you for a moment. He's like, you need some proper clothes in this shop, young man. And he grabs like a shirt from a rack that clearly has been used as a rag a couple of times. It's just like, and he tosses it to you.
Oh, all right. I'll put it on.
It's better not to have your bits hanging out because there's moving equipment here. Imagine if your nipple got caught or something.
That would be a tragedy.
Yeah, I did like vote for Cornelius being the one without the shirt, but like everything's tighter.
Oh, well, if he's wearing a shirt, I gotta take mine off.
I mean,
No,
that's-
please, I'm sorry. Shut I can't. If something sparks in here and it burns you, I would be liable.
It's okay. We're just
Wait
a little
a
superstitious.
second, you might reconsider.
I'm willing to be persuaded. Make me a persuasion check.
Does my impressive display get a positive?
Yes. Yes.
10.
Oh, well, if you insist on flaunting shop safety rules for that display, you may, of course, do as you like. But I'm not here. Sign this waiver. He hands you just like a piece of paper that basically says, if I get injured because I refuse to wear proper safety equipment, I will not sue Dr. Isaiah Featherstone and Featherstone Industries.
How many hot people come here and undress that you have a form ready?
Well, in the summer,
It's very hot in Canova.
No, then we always lose graduate students to Professor Featherstone's lab because they like to go
I
to
can
like the
tell.
warmer parts for the summer schools.
This is why I now have a policy where I only take one student at a time, because if I get more than one, then they just stop working together. Like, they both disappear, and I don't understand what it is.
It's like the Olympic Village. All that work.
Sounds like you're creating an excessively horny environment for these students.
What? No, there must be some, there's correlation and causation, but I have no evidence of that.
This is age, but also boredom, but also love is in the air.
It's a powder keg.
It just there. You have to stop shooting it,
And
it's there.
he looks out. Goraton is a famously romantic city, and you look out over like late 1800s Victorian England smokestacks and gray buildings and like chimney sweep. There's a chimney sweep on the other side of the street. Who are you looking at? And just like walks on. My Goraton, and closes the door. So, coffee, tea. Can I put it? What's brought you here?
So we have been we've been stranded here by, so we were doing some investigations in the Temple Above the Clouds, which you might be familiar with.
The Temple Above the Clouds. I believe
anyway, it's a
I've heard
Numenera.
something, and yes, it's. I mean, very distantly, but that's quite far from here. And you were stranded from there to here. How did you come? Was it some sort of translocation device? Was there a time portal? What? I'm terribly
I wish,
fascinated.
right? Like translocation devices, like they don't have them in Numenera sites anymore. Like we flew, we just like took some sort of like flying craft.
Oh, how terribly boring.
Yeah, no, it really was.
And why here?
Well, we didn't have a choice in the matter. That you should ask Ruta about that.
Sorry, I got distracted.
People often are.
We had two
what
choices.
brought you here?
So yeah, we were escaping the temple that was like collapsing above us, and we had three
Okay.
choices, two
Yeah.
of which we knew where we were going,
Yeah.
and someone decided that the best thing to do would be to go somewhere completely unknown.
But to be fair, we never actually got there because our ship's at the bottom of the lake now, which is our main issue right
At
now.
the bottom of Derset Lake?
Yes.
Oh, it's quite deep down there. You went down with it, or?
Yeah, we are still there.
I would say people don't come back.
We managed to crawl out before the thing filled up with water and sunk.
Well, that's good. What kind of flying machine was it? Was it of... I mean, some of them are better at floating than others. Konovan machines, we have some flying machines that are meant to land on water.
Well,
You're
this one is
getting
fun.
too much into details that are not relevant.
But it's actually quite
Oh,
fascinating because I think it is a
Oh my
leftover
God,
craft
there
from the
is no
Gorlax
two of
Blackout. I
them.
think it was suspended by actually one of like the sub clauses of like the Karo hypothesis that you were working
The
on.
task at hand is for us to get to the submarine.
It's well, no.
Wait,
What?
no? What? No?
This is before that.
Okay.
We don't have a sub.
You don't have a
need,
submarine.
We'd like a submarine because then we can get a
we,
ship.
Okay, we know nothing.
Or
I
some
will
sort
shut
of
up.
Can
some
I-
sort of fishing hook that would pull up a.
Well, I'll tell you, the Derset Lake is very deep, and most of the time, expeditions that try to go down, we don't have any way to survive at those crushing pressures. It's as you know, the history, some device from the Gorlax Brakaki exploded toward the end of their existence, and it created a hole in the crater wall, and also this lake, a tremendously destructive force of explosion to create a lake that is so many kilometers across, even. But of course, deep beneath the water, there must be all kinds of wonders and treasures. And now, if I hear you correctly, an additional treasure is down there, which is an original flying vehicle from the Gorlax Brakaki, of which I've seen a couple of them. Are you talking these white swan-like things?
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. But you said you had just
Bless you.
you said you had just a few.
Allergies.
It's when you travel across the crater and different biomes and all of this, I understand. The choices. Tell me, you had just a few choices. How did you choose? Because I've never operated one of these devices.
There was three.
There was 3 buttons.
Yeah.
You pressed one of it.
Yeah, there was one that it was kind of like, one that was kind of like some lines with a triangle underneath. One that was scattered dots.
I
and
like how you stick with your scribbles
Yeah.
and not this.
Well, these are at the bottom of the lake, I'm presuming.
No, it spat it out. You can
Okay.
recover it. Have
I
it
will
recovered.
say, I think I did a pretty good job of etching them from your descriptions. They're pretty close.
Great. I did a great
Okay,
job.
well I
describing
show them these then,
He goes, oh my goodness.
and we
yes,
picked
yes.
this one. I thought this looked kind of less threatening.
The refractory. That's the symbol for the refractory.
The refractory?
Yes.
Is that where people rest between bouts of vigorous physical exercise? Never mind. I'm
No.
sorry.
We don't actually know what the refractory was.
I've got an
but
idea.
whatever it
Bad
was.
enough that you did that at the temple. Don't sully Professor Featherstone's wonderful
We
sorry,
don't do
Professor.
anything. in
This
the
is
temple.
a
Like Professor Featherstone, he seems very knowledgeable
That's true.
about all sorts of like.
Tell us
Yeah.
about the refractory period. The refractory.
Oh, I'm sorry. It sounded like you had something else you needed to discuss.
No.
Nope.
We're 100% focused on
We're here to
your
listen.
explanation.
Ignore this energy.
Because-
It's in the background all the time. Just like.
Look
It's
here. You
there.
better put this shirt on. Here.
I'm going to need you to sign a waiver.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Just all the legal details. Okay, the refractory. We don't know very much about it, but there was a project from Gorlax Brakaki that was drilling deep into the earth, and it was here, was part of it. And the refractory, there's many hypotheses on what it could have been referring to, but some form of energy, they were able to take it and they were trying to separate different parts of it. We understand that there was a negative and positive pieces to it. This is something we run into quite commonly of various influences from various past ages. Some of them have had more of a beneficial influence on the planet. Some have had a less beneficial influence, and some of them we describe as being more negative or positive. And they were in this some sort of, the closest idea I can connect it to is the idea of sort of like a geothermal power plant
theoretically, one could drill down and find a hot spot and drag power up from there. This was something similar, but as you know, the surface of our planet is littered with a great many sources of Numenera, and perhaps deep beneath there are higher concentrations. They must have found something. We believe that also at the bottom of Lake Derset is the remains of the refractory. And so if your vehicle was going to Lake Derset, it may not have crash landed, it may have been going somewhere specific. Which in a prior age would have been into the planet. But when whatever disaster happened, ended up being a lake. And we don't know if there is a facility down there. It may be flooded, it may be partially flooded, but I have been developing it's a little bit my white whale, but I've been developing a submarine that I believe could take one down there.
It's a good name for a submarine.
What?
The white whale.
Oh, it just comes from literature.
Okay. This guy is smart.
Should I call it that?
Oh, yes.
The white whale?
I think so.
Okay.
What color is it?
Can you paint it white?
No, I could paint it white. It's currently painted a different color.
What color is it?
It's more of like a sunflower color.
Okay.
So yellow?
Well, I described it specifically as
Okay, yeah.
sun. I think
I
it's,
feel like we're getting the weeds here, Professor. I'd love to stay here all day chatting color palettes.
color theory is quite interesting,
wow.
actually. It's such a deep area of study.
I'll bet.
I have a collection of prisms. Would you like to see
No.
them?
Yes,
No.
please.
Don't want to see your prisms.
So how in development is the submarine? Is it like...
Well, it's missing one part. It's missing... I tried to get it, but it's sold at auction to a really shady brewer. It's missing a meniscus device, which is
if it's
something.
sold at auction, I guess there's no way of getting that.
And we cut back to barreling down the road. You are out the outskirts of You're at the outskirts of Guraton. You are heading towards. You're around the corner from Isaiah Featherstone's shop, Featherstone Industries. I'm just gonna throw you an intervention right now because you have this lovely cart that you've got, even though it's a bit damaged. But I want to offer you just an intervention. Someone want to take it?
Yes.
Okay. On your side, on the wheel under you, just comes off and your vehicle slams into the ground. I feel like I've taken vehicles away from you before in
There is
previous-
some
third-
exclusive
Exclusively.
between you and
This is the
Yeah.
third time in two sessions.
the
Yeah.
third time in 2 sessions. And I think also in our session 0, I also took a vehicle away from
Oh
you.
yeah.
We'd love
Yeah.
to keep one.
No! No!
Don't get in that submarine.
The wheel pops off into like an alley, and like trash cans, and the vehicle scrapes to rest in the middle of the road, just fully frame bent and broken. The dashboard steaming, whatever Numenera crystal power source starts to sort of like energy, sort of this sensation in the air of it growing.
I think this
and
thing's gonna
growing.
blow.
Yeah.
Get out of the car.
Get the heck
You
out of
pile
here.
out of the car and
Then I remember about meniscus. Get
Yeah.
back, get meniscus.
I leap into the air as it explodes.
yeah, it doesn't explode amazing, but it is sort of like one big shower of sparks as this like white hot bits of metal and whatever else were in the engine come showering down in the middle of the street, sort of sparking and burning, and you walk around the corner to Featherstone Industries.
Can I have taken up to 10 minutes recovery in that van, or even just an action recovery?
Yes.
Remind me what one action recovery does?
You roll one die and add your recovery number, which I think you erased possibly. at some point.
Oh,
Your recovery number is either 1 or 2.
Where would
Did
it-
you?
1d6.
It would be in there.
It says 1d6 here. Yeah. Would it be up to 2 now that I'm level 2? I didn't.
I think you might have. Did you spend to increase your recovery number?
I never wrote anything here.
Okay, it would be
Never-
1.
Okay.
Then.
So I got a 5.
So you
So
on
it's
the
one
die.
die.
So it's
And I can distribute that 5.
the 1 plus the die roll.
Okay, so 6 to be distributed across.
Correct.
Okay.
do we reset the recovery action since the last time?
Since the last time they're
okay.
reset.
So
Yeah.
I'll also take an action. I think.
Yeah.
I'll do that too, why not?
Oh, one.
Cool.
Yeah, 6. Hee. Oh no, what a waste.
2, 2.
Cool. Math done.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Great. You get back to Featherstone Industries. You walk back in to this place that's becoming familiar and comfortable. He gave you like little cots and hammocks in his back room. It's a bit cramped, and the kitchen in here is not really. It's kind of like a hot plate powered by some sort of spare pieces of iota that you find around, little bits of power here and there. And his coffee pot has never been cleaned, so it has that real like patina in it. It's a unique flavor. But you walk back in, and he does not seem to be in at the moment. It's just the empty shop with like the submarine repainted white with
Okay.
delicate lettering in cursive, the white whale on it. It's kind of this bulbous shape, and it has a little propeller on the back, so it could be whale-like, and he's even gone to the degree of drawing, like painting a smile on it in the front, so it has this like porthole view, but on either side there's the smile coming out, so it's sort of like a cyclops whale.
I take my shirt off.
I,
Okay, I keep my shirt on.
Covered in blood.
Isn't the
Victor.
whole... Oh, sorry.
as if Victor isn't wide enough, he's going to make some more coffee for himself on this thing.
Isn't the whole, like, white whale thing that the white whale's being hunted, is this a bad omen for the submarine?
Well, only if we have someone like really obsessive after us.
Yeah, I guess we're fine.
I also feel like every single vehicle we got in together has broken down.
That's true.
And I mean, I don't know much about how implosions work, but they don't sound like fun. Has he tested this thing?
No, I feel like we're gonna be the first one. Yeah, there's no way of like surviving when you're down
No.
there.
I see as well the controller to control this thing is taken from a popular video games console.
I feel like I've seen that before on one of the.
Doesn't fill me with confidence. I mean, what could go wrong?
Yeah,
Well,
what's going
yeah.
wrong?
Professor Featherstone is a genius. Okay, you wouldn't even understand like
No,
the
probably
levels
not.
of his
No.
geniusness.
I think about perspective of this thing imploding, but then I think about perspective of seeing the face of my ex grin at me, and I'm like, no, this looks good. This looks good. Yeah.
You've been a little edgy, Ruta, since we got here.
No.
No? Nothing you want to talk about?
Have you been here before?
Yeah, you've been very distracted from trying to pry into my past life.
You also, you seem to know your way around this town pretty well. You knew which way to turn in the...
Yeah.
I've been here. I have been here. I have yeah. So I was actually supposed to move to Konoha as a partner of the Konovian ambassador. That did not happen.
Oh.
Can we check if she's lying?
Yeah, you can. Are you trying to hide anything? What are you hiding?
I'm telling the truth. I was supposed to move here
Yeah.
as a partner while we were together, and that did not happen.
What, you mind me asking what went wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving swiftly on.
Well, I'm sure that whoever your partner is won't be at the bottom of the lake, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would rather go on the bottom of the lake.
She wasn't a billionaire by any chance, was she?
Yeah, no, she actually was from a really well-off family.
Because they do love submarines.
I hope she's not in there.
Okay.
So the door opens after a while, and Isaiah comes back in. He looks like he's a bit like cleaner than usual. He's been out. And he comes back in and he kind of like takes off his evening coat that he had and he hangs it up in his office. And he goes and gets his shop coat and he puts it back on. You're back. Was it a success? Did you get it?
Yes.
Point of the bag.
Oh, he goes and opens and pulls out this. It's like a globe of some sort with all of these little spikes coming off of it. Some of them are like spikes that are come to a point. Some of them are spikes with a ball. Some of them are like hollow tubes that are cone shaped. And then there's a couple of spots where it has the reverse going in, and you could almost put your fingers in them and poke your finger into the sphere. It's about this big.
Ball?
Like kind of like but it's spiky and stuff. It wouldn't really, and it has kind of an equator of lines around it that seems to be like demarcating two hemispheres. And he looks at it. He's like, "Oh, incredible, wonderful. Well, this is such an odd device. It has the effect where it will filter the air. It takes poisonous air and it filters it out, and it gives you breathable air. And in the same way, it has a also, like, it seems to have some sort of pressure regulation. We don't know what it was for, but I know I can repurpose it. I was working on this with, I have it's very silly. We have kind of like a vague rivalry across town with Dr. Hendricks, and they, I was thinking of showing them up by having a launching ceremony for this type of thing. It would really be great. I thought to invite all the embassies down to show all the nations what we can do here at
Sounds like a
Command.
terrible idea.
Yeah,
Aren't you worried about like people stealing your technology or stealing your ideas? Wouldn't you want to keep this nice and down low?
Well, the thing is to stick it to Catherine that I got here first.
We're kind of trying to keep a bit of a low profile
Yeah, what if we
here.
do the mission first and
Yeah.
then like
We-
say
Yeah,
we
you
did
need
it?
to, you
What
need to
about
get some
ending ceremony?
experimental results, right?
Yeah.
So should I have the ceremony when you resurface?
Maybe the ceremony is for after the testing, because we're testing it. And then maybe you can go down and have your own little ceremony when you go down with it.
Yeah,
And it's all about you.
But
What if something went wrong, we didn't return, and there's a
Yeah.
ceremony waiting, and it's a bunch of corpses come up,
Yeah.
I mean, that's exploration and science. It's better to be the first to do something than it is to be, oh, we know this is safe and it's the second one. But the inaugural maiden voyage of a never before seen technology. Huh, what a marvel.
What if we just, can we just like do some kind of recording of the maiden voyage and then send it out to like radio stations and stuff instead of people actually coming to see it?
Do you mean experience it after the fact?
Like the way you would, if you were to write a paper about this, it would only be published, say, 6 to 8 months afterwards when it gets reviewed and whatnot. Scientific news always seems to be a bit of a delay to it, no?
That's
Think
why
of
I
it-
pay off the review communities.
Oh.
Don't listen to me, Misky.
Quick sidebar, folks. Quick sidebar.
So we
Yeah,
go to the
yeah.
submarine.
This guy just described our potentially tragic death in an implosion as science, and seems to have a pretty flippant attitude towards procedures and protocols. I'm not filled with confidence about the safety of this contraption.
It's just it's an idealistic thing. I'm sure he's taken the utmost safety precautions in the actual construction of this craft. He's just saying that you have to be brave and you have to go fast with something.
Can you give it a look over?
Sure. Yeah.
I've got a couple. We picked up a couple devices. I've got like the mask might be able to check if there's any breaches in the protective
Yeah,
casing.
that could be helpful. Like
Alright,
see if there's
okay.
any like leaks and stuff like that.
'Cause
Yeah.
I've got a kind of a thing about implosions.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah,
wanna
you
be
seem completely
involved
fine with
in
explosions. That
explosions. You know where you stand. Yeah, you can kind of duck behind things. They've got a clear path. They've got implosions. Nowhere really to escape.
I love how you're implying that there's people who are like totally fine with implosions.
This guy seems fine with
Well,
implosions.
that's true. That's true, actually.
It's not a quality you want in a submarine designer.
I don't know. That sounds like a very trustworthy situation. Look, she's my ex, and now My sister-in-law, really not a good situation.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Calculating.
You have siblings here.
No, not but sister-in-law.
So,
Yeah.
so your ex is going to marry your sibling?
That's what I'm saying.
No, what? No. I have married her sibling.
You married your ex's sibling?
Maybe.
Oh, God. Well, I can... Okay.
You're married?
Yeah.
Well, in that case, if she knew that you were here, she probably wouldn't come anyway. Because...
Oh, she would.
Oh.
Look, it's a dirty situation. I don't want to engage with it. The submarine looks lovely.
Where was the last time you encountered Ava?
On the wedding.
On the wedding. Let's just flash back to this moment.
I have... That came out of my brain and now I'm in it.
But now you're like, can I come back? What is a Lemurian wedding like?
A big, bright and interesting.
Big, bright, and interesting. Is it like white dresses or something else?
There is no concept of a white dress, but it's a multiple day event.
Mm-hmm. And it was not the first day that Ava came.
No, she waited until, like, she had to make an appearance.
It was the third day of the wedding.
I was
And
kind of relieved that she wouldn't show up.
you thought she wouldn't. And then at a particularly important, heightened moment, ceremonial, like culturally ceremonial, akin to a first dance, as we would know it, everyone had assembled, and you and who's your
Sandra?
you and Sandra.
And I will go with it. Sandra, my wife.
Still your wife?
Yeah, it's an
Okay.
open situation.
You're there, you're hand in hand, and the door bursts open. And Ava stalks in. She walks right up to you. She's holding a bouquet. She looks at you.
I will take the silence that happens.
She just takes the bouquet and throws it at your feet. Looks at Sandra. She says, Sandra, I swear to God, if I ever see you again, I will have to do something about it. Make sure I never see this person. You're not family to me anymore.
You're here to ruin something very important for me. Get the fuck out.
Ruin? You're trying to come into our family?
I know this is hard for you.
Hard? How could you, you want me to forgive you or anything?
You're making a scene right now.
You have had 3 days of scene.
I hope for your well-being that you will come around the situation and understand that sometimes life is complicated and sometimes things don't work out the way you want them.
Well, sometimes things don't work out the way you want them either. You're being assigned to Sildefin, and she hands you an envelope sending you to this tiny little...
You did this?
It's not from me. You leave tomorrow. And she walks out.
On your wedding. Cold.
Well, I'll get this the meniscus device hooked up, and I think by tomorrow evening it should be ready. Is there anything you need to do to prepare for this trip?
Yeah, do you mind if I just take a look at the craft? Just like understand and like have a look at its design and stuff like that?
By all means, go ahead.
Have you got anything to treat bullet wounds?
Oh my God, I think I might have to send you to the doctor. I'm not a doctor myself, unless you want me to treat you.
Nope.
I have.
No, we're
If
good.
you
You
have
know what,
some,
doctor?
some sort of alcoholic chemicals lying around, Dale's real good at
Well, I'll
putting
tell
something
you,
together.
I did do 2 semesters of medical school just so that I could learn a little bit of it, because I have some theories on bio or organic inorganic interactions, and I think that there's some etheric devices that I could hook up that would really benefit you.
Benefit in what way?
Oh, better, faster, stronger.
I'd get a doctor.
I don't know. We don't want people to know we're in this town, right?
You've been in town for about 2 weeks, and he's sent you
Okay.
on all
Alright.
kinds of errands going across town and stuff. Like, you're not traveling in the diplomatic circles, but
Yeah.
in terms of like finding a nice bar to hang out at and things like this.
You know what? I'm getting slower, you know? I'm getting weaker. I could use whatever help I can get.
Oh, well,
Let's go.
I can operate on you directly, but I will extend the submarine by a few days.
Oh, well, in that case, I don't know.
But I can recommend you a doctor.
Okay. Let's do it the traditional way.
You want Dr. Johnstone is a good friend of mine and looks the other way sometimes when things come.
I mean, it's a
have
bullet
happened
wound.
that don't-
It's a sensitive
well,
topic.
Yes, people start asking things. How did you get the bullet wound? Why did you get the bullet wound? Whose bullet was it? All these weird questions.
You've never gotten a bullet wound before.
I know. I've never gotten a bullet wound.
Yeah.
Please, I have work to do now. Just yes, you may take a look at this. You can take a look at the.
Okay, so can I just like inspect it for possible implosion sources?
Yes, make a roll. This is also a complicated device. It would be a challenge rating 15. You're good with Numenera,
Good with
understand?
Numenera,
So
yeah.
that drops it to a 12. And then you're going to use the mask, and so that drops it to a 9.
Okay, and then I can spend some intellect on it
Yes.
to drop it further, just to make
Yes.
sure. And that will bring me to a 12. So that's a 6.
That's a 6.
14.
14. So you put this mask on, it's connected to you can hold it free, but you can put it on with this helmet as well, which is
put it on.
heavy, but it's padded here on the shoulders like it's meant to rest on you. And when you put the helmet on, because it is, it's sort of like this large metal cap that has some sort of insulation on the inside, and there's pipes and tubes running around the outside of the cap, and it gives intellect armor. When you put it on, the entire world just kind of quiets, and you're able to really focus, and you're looking through and you click down into this ruby lens, and when you put the ruby lens on, you can see almost like the strands of the life itself that make up, like as if everyone was connected by invisible threads all across the shop. You've worn this before in the last 2 weeks, you've played around with it, but it never ceases to amaze yourself to watch someone move and to see this sort of like etheric tension and relaxation of the world around them shift and swim. And you look at the submarine and it seems to be dormant at the moment. It's not active, and you have some other skills as a nano to be able to look into an object and understand what it's made of. But when you look at this, you can see that there are no gaps in the hull. It is this very dense mesh of etheric energy, just waiting to have energy pumped into it to light up that mesh, as if it was a cage around this entire bulbous whale-like vehicle. You examine it and you can see there's right on the outside there's sort of like a hole where the meniscus device is going to plug right in and seal up this, and it acts as like an interface between the outside and the inside, and you can see that hole is ready to accept the meniscus device, and you look at the meniscus device with these goggles and you can see, okay, that's exactly how he's planning to hook it up. It almost lays itself out for you, as if everything is designed. So it looks solid.
Looks solid, okay.
Looks like a good piece of work. A real labor of love on his part. He's not got any funding for it. And you can tell that he's taken on all kinds of odd jobs in the background to be able to pay for the materials. But it is, it gives you confidence that at least the physicality of it and what you see is reliable.
So I get a lot of confidence from seeing this, but also I am like really enjoying the feeling of being in this like closed off space of the helmet. So I think I like keep it on for a little longer than necessary.
Yeah.
Just sit inside the submarine and like take the time away from the group and like the craziness of what we're going to do.
So in this moment, as Isaiah gets to work, what else is going on for you? You're about to head off onto this expedition down underwater, down to the refractory.
I'm getting patched up.
You're getting
Does that cost money? I have
Do you
3
have money?
shins since the start of
it
the thing?
costs you a shin.
Okay.
Shins are just like random pieces of detritus that people can use to build things, and they're a resource, and so it costs a bit of resource.
I'm gonna change my wife's name from Sandra to Milada.
Milada.
Yeah.
Sandra was the middle name.
Now we're.
Do we get back to full stats here, or do we have to do that more formally?
You can rest overnight, and you'll roll your whatever's left up through the.
Well, it'll be 3d6. Then.
Yeah.
Oh, 6,
Means our recovery
10.
recovers.
Yeah.
10. And we have 5. Yeah, so I'm back full.
Cool.
Just a flesh wound.
The next morning, Isaiah comes to you. Oh, you're looking well. I hope everyone had a good night. So, I know we said no big ceremony, but what about a small ceremony or a little event? Maybe just like some donuts and some friends. See, here's the thing. The other night, I didn't mention it last night because I was so excited, but I just remembered it. I was maybe bragging a little with Catherine Hendrickson, Dr. Catherine Hendrickson of Hendrickson Technical. And well, it turns out that she's also been working on this project and has found her own solution around the meniscus device and seems to be launching soon. So we said, what if we have a race? Whoever's team can get to the bottom, into the refractory, whatever's left of it first, and come back and prove that they were down there, bring back a unique item. Then we set a pot, a pretty hefty pot actually, a number of shins that would make one feel good, and I would be willing to split that with you.
Ceremony under 1 hour.
Oh, the ceremony will be like, here they are, into the water, hooray, and you can all go and we'll have a drink. I mean, we'll get about to our business.
Race sounds exciting.
I guess.
It does sound exciting.
And I did have a look at this craft, and it is one hell of a seaworthy craft.
And shins are always good.
I could always use some more shins.
Could use some shins.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Great. Well, then, the race is on. It starts this afternoon. We'll launch from the docks. I've invited a few friends just to celebrate, okay? Nothing fancy, no formalities to it. I hope that's okay. It's too late to call it. It would be very rude to call it off now. So get your things. We're going to get this packaged up in my trailer, and we'll get it down to the docks. And also in these rules, we agreed that our teams, as both of the teams are pretty capable delving parties, I assume. From everything you've told me, you sound to be. If you survived some collapsing temple and flew all the way down here, I'm impressed. So we said that it's a little bit of a competition. It's not just a race, okay? They may try to trip you up a little bit. Add a little bit of flavor in there.
And we gotta trip them up.
Well, don't kill anyone.
Okay.
I mean,
What do
this is rapidly not sounding very scientific, Dr. Featherstone, I must say.
This is like frontier science, you know? It's like the old days.
Okay.
Real adventure. Can you tell us anything about our rivals?
Oh, I have no idea
You
about
have no
them.
idea. Do they know anything about us?
I may have talked a little bit about you. When I
What
was
did you
drinking.
say?
I said that you were four young, bright individuals from diverse backgrounds, and you have some. You were in the war. I was trying to impress her. I said that they were in the war. She said, "So are my boys
Yeah, everyone's been in the war.
and girls as well."
Remind me, on what side was Canova in the war?
It was on. They came in late to support Lemuria, and because of them,
allies.
Lemuria didn't fall. So they are. There is this very, like, friendly camaraderie there. The detail about Canova is where Lemuria has been really holding to the Bracarchian ideals, and Myland was really focused on the earth and organic sort of whatever it was that was coming from the earth itself, not exactly technology, but like biotech in a way. Konova is really like, we're not taking old technology, we're forging a new path. It's a city of industry, it's a city of new things. So on the battlefields, it was Konovan metal tanks versus Mylandian war beasts. And so you had this real like escalation in terms of like war beasts ripping tanks apart, tanks that could. It was very, very like intense there, but technology really grew. So you get down to the docks. You have the ship getting lowered in the water. You see a couple of docks away, there's another ship. It's sort of more of a tube, but it also has kind of like a rounded nose. It's got more. It's got more of like a fish shape rather than, it's not a ball. Yours is more of a ball, and theirs is like a bit longer, a bit thinner sort of style. And Catherine Hendrickson and Isaiah Featherstone come together. There's the beginning of this sort of like little, each one of them steps up to start to give a little speech in front of an audience of an assembly of a couple of like someone from the mayor's office and someone from the technical university, and several students and other friends are there. And someone was hired and seems to have brought like homemade sandwiches as catering. And you're standing there at the entrance to your submarine. The rules are that when they finish, they're going to fire a little blank gun, and there will actually be a race. Everyone will get in their subs, and the subs will go down. And in that moment, I think that's the right place to stop it for this session.
Okay.
So, the race is almost on. You're about to step into these submarines and go deep into the depths unexplored since a calamity. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Frontier science.
So everyone, thanks for joining us. We are delighted to have you for this first episode of the third chapter of our campaign in this world of Dios, exploring new places. You can, of course, always catch the video on demand on YouTube, and please tell your friends about this if you're enjoying it. You can follow us on social media at Tales Held Dear everywhere. We have the live show coming up on Thursday, May 2nd, 9:30 p.m., €10. Any other announcements?
Thanks to the equipment. Thanks Comedy Cafe Berlin, and thanks Bear Radio.
Yeah. And
we will be back in 2 weeks. So thank you so much for joining us, and see you next time.